ThriftMaster, Boot Fair Special.
Hello. Let's do another one of these ThriftMaster videos then, because I told you I'd do it. I went to a boot fair this morning. It was incredible. First up, I said recently that I had some issues with the Guitar Hero controller that I bought. It was the wrong Guitar Hero controller for this wireless adapter. Online, people say that you can mix and match receivers, but it wouldn't talk to it. So I assumed that either the guitar was wrecked, the receiver was wrecked, or what I had read online was false. So today at the boot fair, a Guitar Hero PS2 Kramer guitar shows up. The exact same guitar for the wireless receiver that did not work. Oh yeah. And with it, I got another wireless receiver, and for £1 on top, in good condition, Guitar Hero 2 on PlayStation 2. I already have it on 360, but I mean, I'm looking to get all the Guitar Heroes on PS2 again, because you can just set up a PS. Wow, the button placement on this guitar is really good. The buttons are springing back up. Oh man. Oh, I've got to play some Trogdor on this. Oh wow. So yeah, the guitar was £2, which my dad bought for me. Thank you, Dad. And the game was £1, which I paid. And the game itself is in stay guitar, stay. The game itself is in good condition. Manual, disc. No problems with the disc, no scratches, nothing. Pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with that. So, yeah. That was an amazing find. If you watched my Sonic 3D Let's Play on Game Cola, you may have noticed that Blossom. I used to have a lot of Pokemon plush toys, because my brother and I won a shit ton back at the Millennium Dome when they had the Pokemon vending, the Pokemon crane machine, and the lady operating the machine said, go on, trade in your Pokemon toys for a big Pikachu." And we said, "No, thank you. We want all these Pokemon," and we left with all the Pokemon. We won a shit ton that day. That machine was just really easy to win. They must have had the win percentage up really high. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, for a long time, this is the only Pokemon plush I've had. Until today. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Marill. Wow, when I saw this today at my face is just radiant. It's just, I'm just so happy. Like, this is when you learn something about me. I like collecting things, and plush toys is just another thing. Anyway, I picked this up. I looked at it. I was admiring how beautifully made it is. Normally these plush toys, when you find them at jumble sales or boot fairs or in charity shops, they have a defect. For instance, my Blossom, the mouth is actually on slightly sideways. Do you see? That is an actual manufacturing defect. A lot of these plush toys have them. But this Marill, absolutely no manufacturing defects. Absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. Also, the batteries inside still work. I've got a good memory. No, I don't. Who am I? First up, for 50p, Maniacs on PlayStation. The manual is in a pretty shitty condition, as in the cover came off. But apart from that, it's okay. I'm sure I can just fix that with a piece of sellotape. This is an amazing multiplayer game. Like, if you just got a couple of friends around, you got multi-tap, play this 4-player. Oh my god, it's so much fun. So much fun. It's basically Micro Machines, but on acid. Pretty insane. Okay. Next up, whenever I see the label Midas Games, I always have to... That's probably easier, actually, standing like that. Sitting like that. Whenever I see the Midas Games logo, I just have to have a look, because Midas Games, half the time, they get these games that are developed by complete nobodies and publish them. Yeah, developed by Motive Time. Who the fuck are Motive Time? And sometimes you get games like Mark and Shao, which are PlayStation 2 ports of Dreamcast games, amazing Dreamcast games, and Midas Games published them. So it's always good to look out for the Midas logo. This is a first-person shooter. I had to have it as soon as I saw it. It's complete with manual, but you know these Midas publishing jobs, white label, disc, and manual that's about 4 pages. But, you know, it's complete. That's the key thing. Next up, I paid £1 for this. Disney's Hercules for PlayStation. I'm supposed to be holding it like that, aren't I? Platinum, so it's not as good as owning the original. But again, for the sake of playing it, I don't really care what version of the game it is. The only time I cared about that was when I bought Saints Row on Xbox 360. I particularly picked up the only non-classics range version, took it to the counter, and the guy at the counter gave me a fucking classics disc. So I've got a classics Saints Row disc in a non-classics box. Still ill. Next, they wanted £1 for this. Powerpuff Girls Relish Rampage. I took a look at it. No manual. Also, if you can see that, disc is scratched to high hell and will need fixing in a disc fixer. So I managed to whittle that down to 50p, which is more sort of like my sort of punt price, because then if it turns out a failure, well, at least I only put a little bit of money towards it. Now, I don't know if I've still got this game, because we used to have it on GameCube. We've logged all our GameCube games, but I can't remember whether this one showed up. So I've bought it again for the sake of making sure we have it. I don't mind owning it twice. It's Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation 2. This is Platinum range. It's complete though, manuals in there, and the disc itself, so pretty good altogether. I can't complain about that. Yeah, I paid £1 for that. Next up, I own this on Xbox 360, but I've heard that the PS2 and Wii versions are significantly different because the daytime stages are different. That's giving you an idea of what game this is. And also, the world map is handled differently. This is the PS2 version of Sonic Unleashed. I want to give this a playthrough because I've heard that the Sonic levels are practically completely different because the Hedgehog engine was nerfed to work on the Wii and the PS2. Last but not least, a DVD. Again, I'm not sure if this will work because its condition is pretty awful, but you know, I was willing to give it a punt for 50p. This is Pokémon The Movie 3 on DVD. Spell of the Unknown. You may notice that the Unknown are spelling Entei on the bottom, which is the special Pokemon in this movie. Based off, yeah, Gold and Silver, Johto Pokemon, second generation, which I believe is the best generation of Pokemon. I mean, my Blossom, Generation 2. So yeah, the disc is in here. It's a double-sided DVD. It's not in the best condition, but I'm sure I can get it to work. If not, I'll just download a copy of the movie and say that I ripped it myself. I don't know. Probably not. That might not be legal. I'll have to check. I'll do what's legal. Okay. last but not least, I think we have what I consider today's star buy. Its condition, like, inner workings seem fine, but this thing is covered in dust and dirt. A PlayStation 1! This is what? Yeah, 7502. This is the first model of the PlayStation in Europe. Inside is V-Rally, but it isn't in the best condition. This machine is covered in dirt and dust and moth shit and everything else. It needs a jolly good clean. But I got the console. Great, after all that talk of the third Pokémon movie and Marill, I've got the Pokémon Johto theme stuck in my head. You still gotta catch 'em all, be the best that you can be. Pokémon Johto. Included with the PlayStation. Finally. One Blaze Turbo and Slow controller. L1, R2, directions and buttons. It's not the best controller. Again, covered in dirt, really grimy. Also, another third-party controller. This one doesn't have any special features, unfortunately. Just a GameStar third-party controller. So keep this in your mind, right? Two third-party controllers, a PlayStation, V-Rally, okay? I'm not bothered about this cable because I can switch it out for a different AV multi-out, one that has cables I can actually use, but an RF cable for the PlayStation 1, which, you know, like I said, I can switch it out for a AV cable. Any AV multi-out Sony plug can be used on any model of PlayStation, PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3. So keep that in mind if, like, you've got an AV cable and you want to use it on a classic PlayStation 1, you can. So just move that over there. And this isn't the original power cable, it's just a DC 9V, which, like, basically what the Dreamcast takes and what the Xbox takes. You can mix and match those anyway. So, PlayStation 1, two controllers, RF cable, power lead, V-Rally. How much did I pay for that? £2. £2. Now, if this thing doesn't even work, for £2, a dead console is an amazing prop. Plus two controllers. Two controllers that I can plug into my... where the fuck is it? Two controllers that I can plug into my PC USB adapter, PS2 USB adapter, and use for emulators. Without damaging my excellent, I paid against the odds, silver DualShock that I bought the other month for a ridiculous amount of money. So yeah, I can use it on PC if the console doesn't work. And then, like, I got V-Rally out of it. Like, I've never even played V-Rally before. I don't know if it's any good or not. I'm sure gonna give it a try. So, PlayStation 1, V-Rally, RF cable, two controllers, and a DC 9V that I can use on the Xbox and on the Dreamcast. £2. I know, it's crazy. It's like a jumble sale a couple of years ago. I got a Dreamcast for 50p. For 50p. And inside was Trick Style. Even if the Dreamcast hadn't have worked, I'd have got Trick Style for 50p. But Trick Style worked, the Dreamcast worked, and it was a Model 1. I know, right? Sometimes you've got to go to jumble sales, you've got to go to boot fairs. Well, I'm not going to say you always find a good deal, but you can sometimes find a very, very good deal. £2 for that? Yeah, I'm quids in, I think. There was someone there who was selling another PS1, they wanted a £5 for it, just fair. And then there was somebody else who was selling a PS1 and they wanted £10 for it. And you're thinking, what? Oh yeah, I want to relay the story as well today because there was this spread that I walked up to, and there was Acorn Electron games, there was an Acorn Electron, there was the Sega Mega Drive games, there was Commodore 64, there was all this old computing stuff. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my god, Rolo to the rescue on Mega Drive. So I pick it up and I walk up to the guy running like the stall, and I say, how much for Rolo to the rescue? And he says, no, I'm not selling the games singular, I'm selling the whole Mega Drive box as one lot for 30 quid. And I'm standing there saying, look, I want this game. There's no point in buying these other games because I'm not a collector to sell games. I'm a collector to play games. To own these games twice serves no purpose. It does not help me in any way whatsoever. I wouldn't sell the rest off because I'm not that kind of person. And he's saying, look, I'm only selling it as a job lot. So I told him very nicely that he had pissed me off and that I wasn't interested in anything else he was selling. And then once I had left, but while still in earshot, I referred to him as a... You know, people like resellers piss me off. They really do. But anyway, this video has dragged on far too long. Thank you very much for watching. That's my finds today, basically. Until next time. If we live that long.